Crime continues to spiral out of control in blue cities. In New York City, this attack happened in the subway.
It's incredible video. You see it there. A woman, she's being beaten with her own cane by a man who was then released after police showed up. So the cops showed up. This poor woman is laying on the ground. He beat her so badly that the cane broke on her. She's 60 years old. This guy's been arrested like 10 times before. And why does something have to only happen when there's public outrage? Let's bring in our expert panel for today. One of our guests, they're both in studio, former FBI agent and former New York Congressman, as well as a Newsmax contributor, and my friend, Michael Grimm. And let's bring back former federal prosecutor, Doug Burns. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining us. Michael Grimm, you're an FBI agent, former FBI agent. I mean, you know crime. You live in New York City. Seeing this happening, the assaults are skyrocketing all throughout New York City as well. And yet the Democrats, they want to lie to us and say statistically things are not so bad and compare it to the bad old days of the 70s when we know that's not the case.
Oh, yeah. It's literally don't believe your eyes. Don't believe what you hear. Don't believe what you see every single day in the street. It's getting worse and worse. It's not getting better. And look, on top of all this, look, how do you deal with mental illness and recidivism of crime when you have tens of thousands of illegal migrants invading your city on top of it? That's draining resources, right? So how do you deal with all of it at once? You know what you do? You don't deal with any of it, and that's what's happening. And the poor citizens of this city and that 60-year-old woman are the ones being beaten down because of it.
Absolutely.
Couldn't have said it any better. Doug here, according to the MTA, and this is a legal question here because that man who choked out the other guy on the subway trying to prevent or stop crime, they say the woman who took that video of the woman being beat with the cane did the 100% right thing. Now, I don't want to put anyone in harm's way, but just sit back and watch this happen.
No, I mean, the key point that people are making is that what took place with the other subway incident is now causing people not to want to get involved to help people. And that's a terrible, terrible byproduct of that particular case. Just want to add into what Michael was saying is just throw into the mix a district attorney who's telegraphing that he doesn't want to prosecute all kinds of crimes, and throw in a statewide bail law that's just absolutely crazy, which makes many, many offenses you can't set bail.
To expand on that just a little further, say she did something. Say she grabbed something, maybe she had a bat in her booth and hit the guy.
It'd be self-defense, obviously.
Right, but in this city, here's the problem, Counselor. In this city, just like we've seen with many of the owners of small businesses, when they defend themselves, they're the ones charged. Because at the end of the day, and Lydia, you know this better than all of us because you speak about it all the time on all the different shows. These are activists. These are put in by, they're funded by George Soros and other, leftist woke radicals. And the whole purpose is to allow anarchy in our cities. It's to destroy all of society, and that's what it's doing because average, ordinary people can't have businesses and can't live safely in their own neighborhoods.
When Mayor Giuliani became the mayor of New York City, it was in 1994. In 1993, we were, what was it, like over 3,000?
Over 2,000 murders, over 2,200 plus murders.
2,000 homicides. He brought the number down to what, like 200, 300? And that's the way they did it, broken windows policy, where you prosecute 100%. Those lower level crimes so you prevent the higher level ones. You don't allow somebody that's been arrested 12 times.
That was my exact point. In other words, when Alvin Bragg telegraphs, we're not going to charge these low-level offenses like turnstile jumping and so on. That is the 180-degree opposite of broken windows policing, which actually worked under Giuliani.
And one of the reasons it worked, Counselor, because going back when I was really young, before I was an FBI agent, I was uniformed police for a very short period of time. You know what they found out when they arrested for turnstiles and some of these smaller offenses? They had open warrants for bigger offenses, so they would catch bad guys before they committed their next bigger offense.
That's the key.
On the broken window, small offense. That's why it works so well.
Exactly.
Both of you, gentlemen, feel free to comment. The guy who did it, Norton Blake, he was not arrested on the spot. It took him 5 days. As a former officer, Mike, why would it take 5 days to find this guy and put him in jail?
I don't know the specifics on this, but he could be transient. That would be one reason. If he did not have a specific address where he stays or he lives with someone and moves around a lot, maybe he's even mentally ill, lives on the street sometimes, that would be one legitimate reason not to be able to pick this guy up and cuff him within 5 days if he's transient. That's the only thing I can think of.
I think it might have gone a little beyond that because I think they showed up on the scene.
The cops.
And there were notions that, she was at fault, which is crazy.
Oh, they should have held, they absolutely should have held him on the scene.
You see what I mean?
Absolutely should have held him on the scene.
Well, that's what the reports are saying.
They didn't hold him at the scene.
The cops showed up at the scene, and then what happened was they kind of went like this, and they just let him go, even though she's now in the hospital still recovering from her
And,
injuries.
and the worst part about that, if I may, is simply this. People do not trust the system right now. They see that our legal justice system has been politicized. All you hear about is Trump indictments and so on. And yet the everyday violent crime that's happening right in front of their nose to their neighbors, to their friends, to themselves is not being treated, and it's not being handled the way it's supposed to be handled.
Seems obvious to us what to do.
Common sense.
It
It's
keeps
not
going
very
that
common.
way. It's
It sure
not.
does.
Take the
It's not.
handcuffs
Common
off the
sense is
police
common.
and put them on the criminals.
And stop demonizing the police and demagoguing them, and maybe they can do their job. And you can't go after every cop, and that's the other big issue here. That not only is there no bail and these advocates that don't want to arrest the criminals, they do want to arrest the police, and police know that in the back of their mind.
These DAs do that in these cities.
No, I agree.
I've seen it time and time again. Well, gentlemen, Michael Grimm, great discussion. Doug Burns,